Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about my M104 Turbo project, a project I started in 2017 when I remember correctly. I've made some videos about it, about the engine build and stuff like that and the drivetrain, but it has been a while since the last video. The project is finished now for almost 1.5 years. I have driven it much on the street, probably 10 to 15,000 kilometers, and it drives really nice. So I want to go into more detail. I want to show you every little detail on the build. I think we will start with some outside view. So let's just take a look on the car itself from the outside. There's actually nothing much to see. So if you see this car, you would think it's a stock car. Nothing much happening under the hood. I like the color very much. It's my personal taste. So this color is called Beryl. It's like a greenish, bluish, light color. You don't see it very often on the street. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. And you see, there's nothing giving away the power level. You can see the big brakes kind of, but it looks very much stock, except for the pole positions inside. They give away that there might be something happening, but other than that, no big exhaust or something. Yeah, that's the outside view. I will lift it up also and show you anything underneath. Maybe let's have a look inside. So a stock 202 mostly. Here we see that there's something different. So it has a 6-speed gearbox from the 204, so the later model, and it shifts very nicely. I will try to demonstrate. So it's very short gears, and it's very good to find the slots for the gears. So it's not like with the 5 gears that came with this model originally that it feels so squishy and you don't feel like you could shift it quickly or sporty. And with those gearboxes, they work very nice. I like this gearbox swap so much. It's the best thing you can do to improve your 202, in my opinion. And that's why also for my online shop I will try to make a gearbox swap kit. So it will be very easy for any one of you to switch to this gearbox. So let's have a look from underneath. Maybe first talk about wheels and brakes. And now I actually have the smaller wheels mounted because I needed to get them like, how do you say it, road legal. So they need to be written down in the papers, in the documents of the car. And because they're a little bit smaller, it was easier to get this done. I've actually made space for big wheels. You can see it here. On the 202, it's always kind of easy to shim like this part of the body outwards. You have to put some washers underneath this area and some washers underneath this area. And I also try to like reshape this area so there's more space for bigger wheels. I have some track wheels here I use only for track. There are those. The size is 245 40 17 inch. But you see, because of the shape, because they're very edgy, it was hard to get them road legal. So now I have the smaller tires on, and but they're good. Even with that size, you get a lot of grip because I have Goodyear Eagle F1. It's a good tire. Then for the brakes, this is like the C43 AMG model brakes. So they're plug and play. And I used some special brake discs here. It's EBC blue stuff, you can see it written here. They're like for track use. They're very good. I can only say positive things about them. Not experienced any downsides so far. The AMG brakes originally come already with some aluminium inner element. So they're kind of light for that size. On the rear the same. So it's the AMG brakes. Nothing special, but the stopping power is kind of good. So I don't feel the need for bigger brakes. Maybe if I would track it more on the circuit, there would be like the feel or the need for bigger brakes. But for street use and some track use, perfect. Then let's talk about the suspension on this car. The suspension itself for the 202 is a very crucial topic, because in my opinion there is nothing good on the market yet. Nothing which will give you a track-like feel and which will make the car fast on the track. There are some small brands which make custom solutions. I also have something like this for my race car. But this is nothing you can use on the street here in Germany, also because it's not road legal. So for this car, this is kind of a Frankenstein suspension I put together. The springs are from a kit, a cheap kit actually, where the spring rates were the highest I could find on the market. And the dampers are the Koni yellow ones, which are adjustable, which I very much like, but they kind of don't fit to that spring rate because it's kind of too high. But the spring rate is still too low for a real track car, so the suspension is okay, it's good. I tracked it and it feels like controllable and has grip, but it's not like a real track car. That's the downside. There's nothing on the market, but I will try to take care of that. At the moment I'm developing a spring for the 202 for my online shop together with a German spring manufacturer, and let's see. I hope that in 3 to 4 months I can offer a really nice suspension kit for this car. But let's talk about this one here. There is the sway bar from H&R. It's an upgrade sway bar which actually has the size of the sports models. So if you have a sports model, this is nothing special. I also used the polyurethane bushings for this car. So the yellow ones from Strong Flex, the highest grade they have. So the most sporty one. Yeah, that's also the difference you feel on the street and on the track. The car feels more direct. On the rear, it's the same story. So also those springs with the high spring rate I could find, and the Koni yellow dampers, and also the H&R sway bar, and also the yellow polyurethane bushings. What you just also saw is the 3-inch stainless steel exhaust. Goes from the turbocharger all the way back. I have some catalytic converters, and the sound is kind of good. It's not too loud, not too silent. I will show you later in this video. And no like aggressive end pipe which will show anyone that there's some power. The car is very clean. I scrapped down all the old material in the first month of this build, and I also reworked the brake lines, the fuel lines with some copper alloy piping. Then we see the gearbox. I have a special clutch kit inside, which I drove in my race car for some time with a metallic clutch plate. So Sintermetall clutch plate, not sure it's the English word. And you can see the mounting for the gearbox. This is also something I want to sell together with the gearbox swap kit. Then maybe we can see the shifter linkage here, which will also be a part I will try to get remanufactured in a higher amount so I can sell it for a good price. But that's kind of all you can see from the back. I have also some anti-slip differential. This is like a big differential from the 210, the E-Class. And I reworked the axle frame so I can use this big differential, which wasn't meant to be in this car. And there's a Quaife limited slip differential, which kind of works very well. Then of course a fuel pump here, a big fuel pump from some AMG models with the V8 engine, which gets enough fuel to the engine. And that's pretty much it from below. Nothing much more to see here. So I think now it's time to have a look at the engine bay. Now we will come to the most interesting part, I think. You see here the engine bay. So this is the turbo build itself. I will not give you any details on what I did to the engine block and stuff like this. So what pistons and what rods, you can see that in my older videos. So if you are interested in those details, I would suggest to watch some of my older videos. I will just give you more details on the turbo kit itself. It was all my personal development. So you see here this special intake manifold. I designed this on the computer with the CAD software, and this is with the water to air intercooling block here. You can see the air has to run through this, and here we have the water circulating. There is a gearbox pump hidden below, which will pump the water through the intake manifold and also to this low temperature intercooler, which sits in front of the water radiator. And I have to say, this system works very well, very efficient. Even if you beat this car on the track and open the hood immediately afterwards, you can feel the intake manifold and it feels cold, like it was just sitting outside. Then, because of optic reasons, I wanted to keep like the original path for the air over the top of the engine. Because I don't like when this pipe is missing the look of the valve cover with this like area. This is downgoing area. It's not my taste for the optic. So I designed this special boost pipe here, which has like 2 chambers inside, because as you know, on the valve cover in those 2 spots there is like the crankcase ventilation. And to separate this from the boost, I needed to design an inner chamber, which then brings the crankcase ventilation gases outside, separated from the boost, and this goes into some catch tank here. And the catch tank has also some filter which ventilates to the surrounding, but also an oil line. You can maybe see it here, which will bring the condensed oil, or how to say it, back to the engine. So you don't lose much oil. And also I don't want it to bring these gases back into the intake to have oil all around the turbocharger. I wanted to keep the turbocharger clean. Then we see the turbocharger itself. I was using a Kangaroo Team's manifold. I think most of you know this. A nice brand with good prices. And for turbocharger I used a Garrett GTX 3071 generation 2 with ball bearings, and it's actually a small size for this engine, for this displacement, but this makes it very agile. So the boost comes in very quick. So after 2000 RPM you get the first boost, and it builds up until 2800 you have the full boost, and then up to 6500, 7000 RPM you have full boost. So you have a very wide range, RPM range, where you can really use this car and have power. And that's why it drives so nicely in my opinion, and is very like kind of an everyday car. You can use it every day for going shopping or whatsoever. It's not like you get annoyed from the engine characteristic. It drives more like a modern sports car. But of course with the small turbocharger you don't have that peak performance. So this wasn't my goal. I don't want it to have like 600 horses and a turbo leg, a really big turbo leg. So I just wanted to have a nice working car with some power, and which will work also for daily uses. And I'm just thinking what to say else. So there of course is a specially made cable harness for this engine, and for the control unit I'm using Baldur from Iceland. It's hidden here, and it works very well, I have to say. There's a pop-off, and that's actually it. Nothing more to see. And I think I will start the engine now, and we can hear a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know the driving footage wasn't the best because I don't have nice equipment, nice GoPros or whatsoever. I do the best I can with my mobile phone. But I would say thanks for watching, and let's end this video with some footage from the outside of this car.
Heat in my vein like vernacular. Cook up the beat with a spatula. Y'all are not ready for action. I'm smoking these rappers and feeling spectacular. Making it killing like massacre. Watch out, I'm whipping my wrist. Right on my city, been pissed, but I show them love. I'm not the one that's at risk. My homie told me that when people rise up against you, it's a sign of your destiny real. Fake ones been hating cause they know that one day you're making it. Jealousy's all they can feel. Plugging the phone, drifting my zone. Pain in the future when thinking alone. About when I'm grown, already blown. How'd I get blessed with this beautiful home? You were the sight, beautiful life, beautiful sex, my husband and wife, beautiful children. People who wanna come kill me because I'm expressing my rights. Hopefully I am not smoking the nicotine, pack up and kill you like they on a mission. Cigarettes part of my nutrition, rhyming like I got tuition, kicking addiction. I used to tell myself that I was nothing, victim to the poison I was huffing. Now my name come up like no discussion. That's all day, man. I say y'all bluffing, interrupt your formal introduction, but I was born to win.